This is a spoiler warning for anything Baldur's Gate 3. In the beginning, we probably won't go into too many spoilers, but definitely towards the end we will, so this is just an overall general spoiler warning for Baldur's Gate 3. Hello, thank you for tuning into the Joystick Frequency. It's a video game podcast that doubles as a video game book club where you're a member just by listening in and playing along. I'm your host, Trent, and joining me, and not figments of my imagination this time, are Walker.
Hello, I'm here, I promise.
And Brady.
I may be in a figment of your imagination.
That's what therapy's for. So last time, I talked about a couple of games that will probably end up on my top 10. They're little small indie games, including The Bookwalker, Thief of Tales, and Bramble, the Mountain King, which were fun, little good Halloween-y-esque games to play around that time. Now we're finally covering the big one. And if your guess was Starfield, no, we haven't touched Starfield because we've been too infatuated with Baldur's Gate 3.
Sure have.
Game of the year.
Shut up, you can't say that.
I mean,
Number one game of the year on my list.
Wrong? Is he wrong at this point?
Yeah, no, he's not, but he can't say that because no one will tune in to listen to the Game of the Year one if we just say what it is right now.
Sometimes it's more interesting to know what else is good.
They got 2 through 10.
Yeah. We'll save those for last. We'll just open Baldur's Gate Game of the Year. Moving on.
Oh, man. That's okay. I'm sure one of us won't put it at number 1, maybe. I don't know. Spider-Man 2 is sitting on someone's list somewhere. We'll see. Either way, we've got a little bit of time to talk about, instead of like just y'all's month. It's been a while. Most of that I know was consumed with Baldur's Gate 3, but there are a couple other games that more recently y'all have been picking up. Who wants to go first?
I can talk for a brief stint. Like Trent mentioned, I am burning through Baldur's Gate and other life events, so I haven't really had too much time to touch any major game releases, but I have been playing through some DLCs. Astute listeners will know that I fangirl over Outer Wilds any chance I get, and I've finally taken the time to play through the Echoes of the Eyes DLC, which so far has been absolutely fantastic. It feels like a solid extension of the game, adds a whole full new section that's way bigger than it initially appears, and it already initially appears very big. And a lot of the puzzles revolve around light and darkness, which is very cool, but they have gone out of their way, they being Mobius Interactive, I believe, to make this DLC spooky. So I've had to, limit my intake of it, because I am very much a coward when it comes to anything spooky. Yeah, it's very, very thematic. I haven't quite finished it yet, but it plays with some really, really cool concepts that I am very much digging so far. Additionally, I've played some of the Pokemon DLC, the Teal Mask. It's more of Pokemon Scarlet. It's pretty dang good. I actually don't want to get too much into the story stuff, because I don't know where y'all two are currently at on it. But it brought back some really nice characters, or rather really nice Pokemon, and have provided me with a shiny Omega, and I am just rocking with that for the most part.
You son of a bitch. I didn't see a so, spoilers for what I've been playing. I've been playing Pokemon Violet as well. My Switch died on me. Full died. Lost everything that I had on it died. So I had to get a new one and replay through Pokemon Violet so I could play the DLC. In my entire playthrough, and in Teal Mask, I haven't encountered one natural shiny.
Oh, no.
But I did get myself a Snorlax.
Sleepy boy.
He is a chonky boy. Snorlax plus leftovers is everything I've ever needed in a Pokemon game.
They've done some cool stuff with a couple of the new Pokemon they've added in. Again, don't want to talk too much about it, but
I would die for the box legendary of the DLC.
Oh, they're so perfect. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I really want to go into for right now. We can talk more about Pokemon when the next DLC comes out, and everyone has had a chance to play it.
Before we actually move on to Brady's month, if you don't mind. I just have a quick question about the Outer Wilds. Does it still play in the same time loop as the base game?
Yes.
That's fucking cool.
And it's so the whole like conceit. Just to give a real quick. This isn't a major spoiler at all. It's like opening to the DLC. So a new exhibit has opened up at the museum where you start the game at, and it kind of points you towards a radio tower that is on the starting planet. You head there, and they have some really cool photographs of the whole solar system. And on one of the photographs, something appears that shouldn't be there. And that is your driving force. So, yes, you are 100% still within the same time loop, and you still have the same 22 minutes to try to figure out what's going on. It's so lovely.
I need to set aside some time to finally play that game.
It's
all the way through. All right, that's the only question I had. Brady, you can now go into your month. I apologize.
Yeah. So like I said, I've been playing a lot of Pokemon Violet. My current team is a Snorlax, the legendary from Teal Mask, Yanmega, not shiny because I'm not cool, a Baxcalibur, a Iron Moth, and what's my last one? A Lucario. And I am steamrolling. It's so much fun. I notice the performance issues still, but it's still a Pokemon game and I'm liking it.
Actually,
I also
real quickly,
played...
I want to ask you a question concerning the Pokemon DLC. In the new map, so the new map is probably about like a quarter of the size of the full Paldea map, which is still very sizable. Do you have like a favorite section in it currently? Because I've got two that I really, really like.
Oh, I really like the crater at the top with the crystal pond.
Ooh,
I think that's a really cool location. Let's see. I also like there's this underground cave system that you go through.
Oh, interesting. That place is really cool. It's a little claustrophobic for my liking, but I understand the appeal. It's very pretty on the inside.
What are yours?
I'm really digging I think it's called the Gorge on the eastern side of the map. It's really like tall spires of stone stretching up in all different directions with this really cool like river system running underneath. It's very pretty. I just found myself hanging out there a lot.
Nice.
And then the haunted forest to the top, the northeast. Very cool.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed this new DLC. I also super enjoyed getting a new outfit.
Yes, me too.
and new customization options, because, man, those school outfits got old.
Very quickly.
But even more importantly, my hair is now in a bun.
Hell yeah.
Not the lame one that they give you immediately. It's one you can go get at a barber later. In addition to Pokemon, I have also been playing the new Spider-Man game, Spider-Man 2, for the PS5. You play as both Spider-Man and Miles Morales, and you can switch pretty much whenever you want. It goes through... The main villains are Kraven the Hunter. That's not a spoiler. That was part of the game's marketing.
Yep.
And also Venom.
Yes.
Both of which are... Kraven is probably my favorite Spider-Man villain, and they definitely do him justice in this game. And Venom is also one of my favorites, because I had a Game Boy Advance game that was Spider-Man, and you got to play as Venom in that one. One of my earliest Spider-Man memories, and this absolutely lives up to that.
Hell yeah. I've been so excited to tear into this. I need a PS5 so bad.
Yeah, you do.
I'm glad to hear that they do Kraven the Hunter justice, because Kraven the Hunter's always been one of those niche, like, background villains, and I've only ever seen him in one game, and it was also a Game Boy Spider-Man game, and, like, they didn't have any, like, sound, they didn't have any voice acting in it or anything. It was all just dialogue, and I was always like, man, this guy's cool. He's got a cool arena, he's got a cool fight. I wonder what he'd be like, and never got to experience him in an actual video game until now, so I'm looking forward to playing through Spider-Man 1, Miles Morales, and Spider-Man 2, hopefully soon.
Man, you got some great games ahead of you. If you like Spider-Man, these games are incredible.
Oh, the web slinging feels so good in the base
they did it better.
Oh.
They made it better in the second one.
Oh.
Because I think in Miles Morales you get the ability to glide, like web wings.
Ooh,
which this also does. This one also adds like currents, air currents throughout the city where you hop in and it's like fast traveling, but you're gliding on web currents. It also has giant slingshots where you can just like put webs between two tall objects and just fucking yeet yourself. Yeah,
You're making me
it
so
also
jealous.
sped up the web swinging process from the earlier games, so you're like a little quicker all the time.
Beautiful. I've seen people. Apparently, there's a setting in the menu somewhere where you can turn off the web assist. I've seen a lot of people hit the ground at high velocity because of that.
Web assist.
Yeah, I
What
think
does
it
that
gives you like
do?
a little bit of a buffer, so that it protects you a little bit more, so you're not just like crashing into stuff. It makes it a lot more like thoughtful when you do it. Apparently, if you turn it off, it takes off all those safeguards. Meaning, if you start your web sling a little too low, you are hitting the ground.
Interesting.
Very hard, very quickly.
I gotta try that. That's very fun.
Yeah. Give it a go, Z. Let me know.
Yeah,
Send a video.
I might. Yeah. They also add some new like combat powers for both Miles and Peter. Peter gets 4 like Spider-Man arms on his back.
Hell yeah.
Iron Spider shit, and some other undisclosed stuff that are spoilers. And which really, if it's a spoiler for you, I don't know what you're doing with your life if you haven't like ever seen anything Spider-Man. And Miles Morales gets his electric powers and a new, cooler electric blue version of his electric powers.
Hell yeah.
That's what I've been doing this month.
What about you, Trent? What have you been up to?
So, I've been playing a game that I thought came out this year, which technically it did come out in America this year, but apparently came out 2 years ago in China. So I don't know. I'm going to have to talk to you guys about that. Does that mean it can qualify for the top 10? Because if so, good. If not, I'm sure I can find something to fill the slot.
Was it in English before this year?
I'm not sure.
Because if you couldn't play it, then I think it counts.
Okay, I'll have to do a little bit of further digging and figure it out. Either way, it's FIST, and that FIST stands for an acronym. It's called Forged in Shadow Torch. It's a Metroidvania-like game where you're playing as a rabbit person, essentially, and you have this giant mechanized fist that protrudes from a device you're wearing on your torso, and it comes out your back. And it's a Metroidvania. You just go around beating up bad guys and getting your collectibles, going back and forth between locations, getting new upgrades and stuff like that. So I have a fist right now. You get a drill at some point. The drill helps you like suck in people with air currents, as well as swim through the water quicker and stuff like that. Fist is for punching, obviously. That's your main combat tool, as well as you get like other crazy abilities and stuff like that. It's just a generally fun Metroidvania. I hope to finish playing sometime soon.
I saw the trailer for this game a while ago. This is the rabbit with the giant fist. Okay, yeah, I'm following. I'm with you. This looked really fun.
It was made by Billy Billy, which is actually like the name is why I played the game, because it caught my eye. Because Billy Billy is a huge, I want to say just like media in general, like company or something over in Asia somewhere. I know League of Legends has a team at Worlds right now that I'm rooting for, that they're Billy Billy Gaming. So I saw the name and was like, hey, I like them. I'll try the game, and like watched the trailer for the game. Was like, okay, cool. I like Metroidvanias. I'll try it out. Ended up enjoying it so far. And then the other game I've only played one session of, and it's an old game. It's been out for a couple years now, but we played a fun session on Halloween nights for a group of people that didn't have any Halloween plans or something, called In Silence. It's basically one of those Dead by Daylight-esque games where you have survivors trying to repair a vehicle to drive out and escape, while one person's playing as the monster, hunting them all down. And the fun shtick about this one is the monster does not have good vision unless it's raining. And it doesn't rain very often. Everything else is reliant on his very blurry vision and sound that pops up pings on a map for you. And it can be sound from people walking around. It could be sound from them setting off fireworks to try and distract you and stuff. And you have to go and hunt down each of these survivors and kill them all to win. Playing as a survivor is fucking terrifying, because you're sitting there watching this horrid creature with praying mantis-like limbs running around trying to catch you. Playing as a monster is so much fun because you're just sitting there running up on your friends and just being like, hi there, and then taking a giant bite out of them before they flashbang you and run off, and then you got to go catch them again to fully devour them. It was a blast. We only played it for a couple hours. I only got killer once, but man, I was the best performing killer, wiped almost the entire board with it. So it was a lot of fun because everyone was like, man, I'm not sure how you kill as the killer. And then I got my turn, and I'm like, I'll show you how. And just went in there and started ripping into people. It made it to where I was prime target number 1 anytime anyone else was the killer afterwards, which made it a lot less fun and a lot more horrifying. But it was a great game to play, especially on Halloween, so recommend it.
Sweet. Sounds like a fun, spooky time.
Yeah. All right.
Are we diving in?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do a real quick rundown here. So we are talking about Baldur's Gate 3, unsurprisingly here. The Wikipedia states that Baldur's Gate 3 is a role-playing video game developed and published by Larian Studios. It's the third main installment in the Baldur's Gate series, based on the tabletop role-playing system of Dungeons & Dragons. The game was first released on October 6, 2020, remaining in early access until the 3rd of August, 2023. And unsurprisingly, it's a big fucking game. Considering we're only just now talking about it, and it's November. Do y'all want to talk about how many hours you currently have? Because I've got a few. I've got 1 or 2.
I'll start because I'm the least of the group. I have 2 playthroughs going currently. One with a group of friends. We play 1 session every Tuesday, or at least
we try to
every couple of Tuesdays. And then I have a playthrough that I play with a group of friends that have... two of them have already. They both have already beaten the game, and that's my primary playthrough currently. With plans to start other playthroughs, but I only have 66 and a half hours in it so far. Which I know me saying that seems like a lot, but let's toss it over to the guys and see what they got. Walker, you're second, so you go.
Yeah. So I am currently running through the game right now with my fiance, and we've been playing co-op basically since the start. We are currently in the 3rd act of the game, which we assume is the last, and I am at 121 hours on my Steam profile. It's so good. Brady, you want to talk?
Yeah, and let's go ahead and talk about character customization options.
You're just going to skip right over?
We skipped something, Brady.
My 283.5 hours on PC and 42 hours on PS5 in this game.
Yeah, that one.
Is that what we skipped over?
Yeah.
Hey, I've done 3 full playthroughs.
Oh my god.
And I fully intend to do more once I've given myself a little bit to cool off. I like D&D, and I like video games, and this is both.
Holy shit,
Game of the
year.
Fuck off. Can't say that. Anyway.
Why not?
By all means, if you want to take it away, take it away.
Yeah. So, just like any good D&D session, this game has a lot of customization options. It is based on D&D 5e. If you want to know more about D&D 5e, I would recommend watching The Brink of Calamity, an excellent D&D live stream, also hosted by Dragon Tamer. Or a new D&D live stream that is being hosted on Dragon Tamer's channel that just started last week.
Unnamed.
When we're recording. Unnamed because the players haven't named their adventuring party yet, but I am DMing. #plug. But anyway, in this game you can choose to be one of several races and classes. So you have the standard D&D races: human, elf, dwarf, gnome, tiefling, dragonborn, halfling, and half-elf, and half-orc.
Githyanki. I'm pretty sure you skipped over.
And Githyanki. I did not say Githyanki. Yeah, Githyanki are like yellow, gangly elf things with tiny noses.
They're alien elves. They're alien elves.
They're alien elves. They're cool. They look wonky, but they're cool. And each of these races have different pros and cons associated with them. And you can obviously fully customize the way your character looks within that race, even going so far as to give it just some crazy skin colors and eye colors that are really cool. And then you can also choose to play one of the main classes of D&D 5e, everything but Alchemist, pretty much. So you get, not Alchemist, Artificer. Everything but Artificer. Alchemist is a subclass of Artificer.
Not Blood Hunter either.
Let's see, Fighter, Barbarian, Paladin, Rogue, Ranger, Sorcerer, Wizard, Warlock, Bard, Druid, Monk.
I don't know which ones you've listed, but if you haven't listed the useless ones, Ranger might be in there.
Ranger, yeah, I forgot about Ranger. Ranger is not useless, okay?
How dare
Gloomstalker hurts.
I'm not saying in Baldur's Gate.
I'm not saying in Baldur's Gate either.
Y'all were talking shit about Rangers the other day, and now I say something about it.
When was the last time? I haven't talked shit about Rangers for a while. I did used to talk a lot of shit about Rangers, but then I watched Liam in Crown of Candy, and now I'm...
Look, they're there for a very specific reason. And it's to be multi-classed into other things.
that is true.
God damn.
Oh, I was saying never take more than 5 levels into Ranger. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ranger is really good for 5 levels, and then just never take another point into it.
All right. Before we shit on someone's favorite class or anything, what if we just go down and pick Brady? I would say in your case, pick 2 characters at most, and we go down and we just tell everyone our builds.
So I have a couple levels in. I don't know my full spread. I'll have to boot the game. That's going to take 4 years. I think it's something like 5 levels in Rogue, 5 levels in Fighter, 2 in Ranger. It's something like that. My character is designed to be a slice and dice character. I'm dual wielding short swords, I think, currently. And I am taking advantage of the Thief subclass in Baldur's Gate 3 because they've set up the Fast Hands trait to give you an extra bonus action, which is unbelievably broken. It opens up opportunities to, cast additional spells, make an offhand attack, drink a potion, which, combined with a potion of speed, gives me so much action economy. That's basically it. Mainly martial with a little bit of spell casting.
My first character is a Dragonborn Warlock. I based him off of the first D&D character I ever made. Back in college, we were going to play a session DM'd by a good friend of ours that actually was the wedding that we were talking about, or I was talking about last session. He was going to DM it, and me, Walker, his fiancée Emma, and our friend Nathan were going to play in it. And so I ended up making this Dragonborn Warlock, green Dragonborn specifically, so I would have the Acid Breath. We never actually got to play more than one session due to just difficulty kind of stuff, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to go back down to my roots and I'm going to make this character. And so I made Oligax, and he is now, I know he's 7 levels Warlock right now, and 1 level Sorcerer, specifically Wild Magic Sorcerer. And the build I'm currently going on him is an electrical charge build, where I build up electric charges and do extra lightning damage during combat anytime I reach a certain amount of charges. And the best way to do that is my Eldritch Blast fires 2 beams, and each of those beams individually counts as an individual casting. So it charges my electric charges twice as fast. And so I'm just constantly doing extra electrical damage, and just with my Eldritch invocations, I'm knocking people back and off things with these Eldritch Blasts firing back and forth. I've also made it a point to where I get so many spell scrolls in the playthrough. At the start of combat, I roll a d20 and then go to my spell scroll list and cast whatever spell I rolled for my first turn of combat, just for fun, to proc the Wild Magic. Or have the chance of proccing the Wild Magic, which has made for some fun chaos lately in the mid-game. And then my second character is a Bard, and I'm actually supporting one of Brady's characters, as well as our friend Nathan and our editor Kassa. I'm planning on multi-classing into Ranger, funnily enough, on that character soon. Huh?
Why, though?
Because I fire a lot of arrows anyway, might as well get some bonuses attached to it.
Fair enough.
And my bonus actions are the heals anyway, so I'm the healer of the group, so I might as well do some damage on my actions and heal on my bonus. So, and that one's a blue tiefling, and she's pretty fun so far. So, hope to get more in depth on her later on.
Yeah. So let's see. My first character was human warlock. I think I went like 10 levels in warlock, and then I multi-classed it and changed it to 3 levels of warlock. 2 levels of warlock, 10 levels of sorcerer. And that character, what you do is you start the combat by casting haste, and then just quicken spell Eldritch Blast, and you get, at level 12, 9 beams of Eldritch Blast a turn, which is really strong. And if you have Repelling Blast, which you should have Repelling Blast, you knock everybody off of everything, which fall damage is really good in this game. So 9 pushes in a turn can get kind of nuts.
Owlbear from the top rope.
Yeah. And not to mention you just get all the sorcerer spell shit too, which is good. My second character, this isn't my favorite build, but it is one of my favorite characters, was a Dark Urge character. I played as a paladin. Multi-classed into, I want to say fighter for the last 2 levels to get action search. Paladin is busted in this game, especially if you start getting into the brainworm abilities, tadpole abilities, and give yourself insta-crits or auto-crits.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Oh, yeah. The
also, just the
crit button
itemization is insane. I considered doing a warlock paladin, but with the items that you can get in this game, it doesn't matter. Like, there's a way to get gloves that give you like 25 strength. So
25 strength?
I want to say so. Yeah.
I found an item
Maybe
that gives
22.
18 dex, and then another one that gives like 17 charisma or something. But I haven't
This
found anything.
this is an
higher than
Act
that
3
yet.
item that you get by beating a very strong boss. One of the strongest bosses in the game. So it's not like it's not something you can do quickly.
I'm still waiting to go get whacked by the guy that beats you with your own wallet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a fun one. One last, I know you said 2 builds, but one real quick one. It's a really quick build. It's a monk build. You put a lot of levels into monk and then 3 levels into thief, rogue. And then you just punch all the time so much. And you get, let's see, you get 2 basic attacks. Then you can bonus action Flurry of Blows and then do another bonus action Flurry of Blows. And with that and Tavern Brawler, you're adding, with that Tavern Brawler and the Way of the Open Hand, I believe, you get an extra d4 of damage on every melee unarmed attack you make. You're doing at least 20 to 30 damage a hit, and you're hitting 6 times a turn, and you're getting literally anywhere you want to be on the map because you're a monk. Anyway, those are my character builds.
I just want to bring up one more build that my friend Smurf is doing. He's a thief, and you would think a thief, he's one that dips in and out of the shadows to kill people. No, he went Tavern Brawler, so he gets improvised weapon, and also I think there's either a feat or at least one of his magic items or something gives him bonus damage on thrown items, and he is throwing javelins from 120 feet and hitting people with sneak attack for like 40-something damage a hit, and hiding with his bonus action and doing it again, and like it's just completely nuts. He throws stuff from all over the place. He's always getting high ground and stuff. Like it's so fun, and he carries around crates that he purposely stacks up to get advantage on throwing things.
Oh my god, incredible!
He is absolutely playing the game to its fullest potential. It's fucking hilarious.
And to those who are listening in who haven't played anything yet, all this stuff is super cool, but it gives you a really cool option pretty early on in the game to where if you try building something out and you get bored of it or you want to swap things up, it's super easy and relatively cheap to completely rebuild and respec your character to an entirely different class, multi-class options. You can put all your stats in different spots. It's really, really flexible and works with you a lot. And even if you don't want to do that, there's tons of magic items spread throughout the game that'll grant all sorts of kinds of bonuses that you can entirely add to your build and change your entire gameplay.
Yeah, I will say one of my favorite things that this game does differently than D&D is just the prevalence of magic items.
Yes.
You will have magic items in every slot by the end of Act 1, maybe Act 2, just because they're so available, and they're all very fun. There's a lot of magic items you can find that will just completely change how your build works and how you play the game because it's that good, or it's that pivotal of an item.
Yeah, and there's a lot of magic items that you find it and you're like, oh, this is a one-off thing. This is really cool. No, you'll find a lot of items that actually really synergize very well together and stuff like that. I know my Shadowheart has items that give temporary health anytime she heals people, give bonuses anytime she heals people, as well as give bless anytime she heals people and stuff. And I'm just stacking all these buffs on top of the Shadowheart that I'm running with. And anytime she heals someone, they heal for a stupid amount and are also, way better off than they were beforehand.
Oh, alrighty. What's next on our to-do list here? Yeah, so the inciting incident for the game, once you boot up the game and choose to start a new campaign, after you go through the process of, customizing your character and a mysterious guardian character, you are thrown to a cutscene where a giant, mind flayer ship is just crashing through the different realms, absolutely tearing through, causing a havoc as it is pursued by several of the Githyanki that we spoke about earlier, riding dragons, just attempting to tear down the ship. And your player character is inside said ship, getting one of the Mind Flayer tadpoles, lovely little wormy guys, inserted into your brain. Normally, in lore, these guys will nestle into your brain, and once they have decided it is time, will convert you into a Mind Flayer yourself, a weird little, squid guy with tentacle mouths and crazy psionic powers. So, yeah, that is a predicament that your character is in. And you're just kind of thrown into the fray as this ship is flying through. Someone want to take it from here?
Upon the ship crashing, you wake up on a beach in the first area, and you quickly try to get your bearings, can interact with a couple of different companion characters in different ways to see if you want to fill your party with them or not. All around a druid camp that has a bunch of druids and a bunch of tieflings living there, though the tieflings are slowly wearing out their welcome with the druids, and the druids are looking for a way to get them out of there as quickly as possible, but unfortunately their leader has been kidnapped in a goblin camp, and you have to go find him later on down the road. Just interacting with... they do a good job of making the world very lively in this game. You can interact with every person if you want. You'll get short dialogues and stuff. You can use some of your skills like deception, persuasion, survival, and stuff like that through random dialogue options to get more information or have things turn in a different direction for you while you're having these discussions, and you just go through getting your feeling for the world, and eventually you'll find yourself finally leaving this place to go and set out to do some of the missions elsewhere and discover all these different locations, and eventually you'll find yourself reaching that goblin camp. You'll go and free them and resolve the issues with the druid camp.
Maybe, if you want to. That's one of the cool things is, while this game is probably it's not absolutely perfect in capturing the D&D experience, but it is pretty close. The range of options that you have available to you is insane. Every single character that you talk to that has any sort of substance to them is more than just an NPC that's like, hey, over there. You get multiple dialogue options for them that could like vary several different ways. You can truly do a really good job at like varying the different kinds of role play that are available to the player. It's surprisingly in depth and to the point where, you know, like I said, I've played through 121 hours. I've done one playthrough. I feel like I've already missed so much just from the different variances that could happen. Because I know there's a different option where instead of going through and resolving the Druid camp's problems, you could just raise the place. You could just burn it all down.
That's one of the things. Like, you can choose to be good or bad. You can go through trying to please everyone, or you can go through literally killing everyone.
Yeah. And one of the character origins, because you can choose to make your own custom character or choose to play some pre-made characters. One of them is called the Dark Urge, where it's a fully customizable character, but you get special dialogue options and story choices that just let you be even more evil if you want to be. In my opinion, that's the canon playthrough, but not for the reasons that you're being evil, for other story reasons. Because you can also, even though if you have the urges, resist them and try to be a good person in spite of them. But yeah, no, you get, and besides all the dialogue, because you can talk to everybody there, you can also just explore pretty much anywhere you want to. And you get lots of rewards and experiences and quests from just fucking off in a random direction and seeing what you find. Like, there are entire parts of the game that I just missed a turn in, like, off of the Druid camp, my first playthrough, and didn't until we were playing with. I was playing in my campaign with Trent and a couple of our other friends. Didn't realize that there were like 3 quests that I missed and a whole cool bard character that I didn't see because I didn't make a turn, and it didn't make the game any less fun.
You missed Elvira?
It's just, there's so many different experiences that you get if you really give into that gamer's instinct of exploring every single nook and cranny, because there's always something there to look at.
I want to bring it back to the Dark Urge character just real quick, because that's a character you can choose to play that archetype. I think it's real funny that they were like, you can go do anything in this game. You can go be evil. They made a character specifically to where if being evil's not enough, you can be very evil. And they threw that character at you like, yeah, go have fun with that.
Yeah, I think the best part about a Dark Urge run, because my second run I did a Dark Urge run, but I did it as a good guy. Because you still get all the prompts, and you might have to make a couple of saving throws, and you might do some things you don't want to do. But you can also play it as like overcoming these dark instincts.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, which I think, and this is just me, I think the best story playthrough is playing a Dark Urge playthrough where you're a good guy.
So it's just you trying to stop your intrusive thoughts the entire game?
And trying to figure out where those intrusive thoughts come from, because you had your mind wiped and you don't know what your past is, and you can figure it out by playing through the game.
Dude, that's so
actually fucking
Dark Urge, yeah.
Yeah. I played that as a paladin playthrough, and that's...
Whoa.
That's my favorite story playthrough of the game, is that one.
Damn, alright.
I didn't even think of the good Dark Urge. I just thought, let's go kill everything.
Hell.
That also works.
So now I'm going to have to play both.
Mm-hmm. Nope, not going to tell you.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's so big and gives so much variety. Just from the different ranges of characters to the gameplay, the combat, it's all so fun, genuinely. I think that's enough of a story taste, because there's a lot that happens in this game, I think. And if we even tried to go and delve much more into it, we're either going to spoil something or... I don't know. What
this isn't something we've written down, but we want to go through and say what our favorite quest line is, even if you can't say too much about it.
Ooh, that is a good question. All the companion characters have really in-depth quest lines, which I think is very, very cool. But let me see. There's here. Let me pull up a quest list.
So I haven't fully finished it all, and I don't even have him in my party. But from what I've got from it so far, Will's questline seems very cool. I love the idea of a warlock being punished by their pack deity, and the way that he's punished is really fucking cool in my eyes. I wouldn't have even thought of doing that until I saw this.
I think
there's so many. Sorry,
there's so many. I think I'm gonna go with the Iron Hand Gnome quest line. It's a bunch of quests. You find this gnome that's tied up on a windmill in a town that's being taken over by goblins, and he talks to you about his friend who's joined the Iron Hand Gnomes, and he's trying to look for him. And then later you can find him in the Underdark enslaved by some Dwergar and the people that are working with the main bad guys. And after that, you can find him and his friends, or you talk to him. You break him and his friends out of being enslaved, and he tells you that his friend who joined the Iron Hand Gnomes has been captured and taken to Moonrise Towers, where you can go and free him. And you think you're doing this really good thing, and you're freeing them, but later you do more work for them, and they're working against the same people you're working against, but
oh boy, do they have some different morals and values.
They have some different methods, and depending on you, I'm trying not to spoil it. This character suddenly got more intriguing. I didn't think that much of him. I thought he was interesting, but now that I'm hearing what's in the future, I'm on the edge of my seat now. I'm ready for it. I can't wait to do further. Than I've talked to him in Last Light so far, so I've just got the Moonrise Towers bit to do next, and then I can open that up.
And then you run into them again in Baldur's Gate, and they're kind of fighting against one of the main villains of the game that's in control of Baldur's Gate. And without going into too much spoilers, they do tie into one of the main plot lines.
Sure do.
And depending on how you run things, you can kind of give them control over the workers of the city, in the way they become the new tinkers in town, or you can resolve it other ways. And there is ways to choose violence, and there are ways to choose peace. And there are some really fucking annoying gnomes that suicide themselves.
We have so much passion for this already. I feel like we are obligated to at this point. We didn't say it at the beginning, but I'm going to put my foot down now and say, hey, this is a spoiler warning for Baldur's Gate 3. I think we're skirting around the edge a little too much here, so this is your final chance. Spoiler warning for Baldur's Gate 3, and I'll do another one at the end to cut and put at the beginning specifically. Because we all know now that Will turns into a fucking devil himself, which is fucking cool. Oh,
poor guy gets dragged through 6 layers of the hells?
Yeah. 9. There's 9 layers.
He gets dragged through all fucking 9. Rip, dude. Stone eye and a devil eye.
I can't wait to see what that resolves. I haven't even gotten the interaction between what I assume is going to be a good interaction between him and his father, who's trapped in Moonrise Towers. Or at least that I know of, at least.
Right.
Yeah.
All roads lead to Moonrise Towers, which is kind of the end of Act 2. That's not too crazy to mention at this point.
That's
deep
for
into
sure
it,
the end of Act 2.
Damn, Act 2 is a lot shorter than Act 1 then.
Hey, but then Act 3 is the longest one. So.
Act 3 is fucking massive. Speaking of briefly Act 3, I'm not going to go into hardly any details. You asked what my favorite quest was. There is a circus in town in Baldur's Gate.
Oh my god, no.
Oh!
There's so much fun stuff that happens at the circus. I pissed off a djinn, which was great.
Okay.
I made friends with a lovely kobold.
Okay.
And now
Nothing
I am
interesting.
tracking down a clown who's gone missing. Which absolutely just nutso bonkers. I think one of my favorite things about it was if you have Karlak in your party, she gets so excited at the prospect of a circus. Like, full, like, can we go, can we go, can we go? It's just, she is adorable.
Couple of fun facts about that circus. Number one, you can get a statue made of yourself.
I just learned about this. I'm going back to
chills
the
in your
circus
camp?
soon.
And gives you permabless
Yeah.
if you have a statue yourself. Also, with the djinn, did you...
I did the thing, yes.
You did the thing and got the cool magic item?
I got the very cool magic item, yes.
That fucking dinosaurs, man. Love it.
I was not expecting dinosaurs in this game.
What? No way. Let's go. So tell me this. Basically, how crazy is the circus compared to the circus from CR, Brady, if that's the case?
From like the opening of CR2?
Yeah.
Whole nother level.
Oh my
the
God,
circus
I
in
can't
CR2 was trying to be realistic, and then one bad thing happened. This one is just a circus of magical beings doing weird shit, and that's the baseline.
Let's fucking go. I can't wait to get to the circus now. That's
There
Baldur's
are
Gate.
more
Yeah,
than
it's
one
in Baldur's Gate.
instances of dinosaurs related to this circus. Like
Yep.
multiple
Interesting.
different quests in the circus have you interact with different dinosaurs.
That's interesting.
Additionally,
And the person who runs it is a necromancer wizard. So,
yes,
Okay.
she's fantastic. The additional quest that I really, really, really enjoyed was, and it kind of ties into Shadowheart's questline a little bit. The Night Song questline is so good.
Oh.
I'm not going to go into any more detail than that.
I'm still trying to figure out what it is.
Yep. The whole questline surrounding that is just brilliant. I really, really enjoyed it.
Also, again, kind of related to the Night Song questline is Roland's questline. There's a group of NPC tieflings you can talk to at the very beginning. It's a camp, and they're like a brother and a sister. And one of them is a wizard's apprentice. And as you go throughout the game, you encounter them again and talk to them again and keep going and rescue them from Moonrise Towers and all this stuff. And eventually, the wizard who paid the group of adventurers from the very beginning to go find the Night Song, you get the chance to meet that wizard, and that is who Roland is apprenticed to. And depending on how things go in that interaction, Roland can become a grand wizard of Baldur's Gate. And have his own
Let's not
magic
use
tower.
that term. Archwizard?
Ooh, Archwizard. Yeah, no, hold on.
Ooh, no, not that
Grand
one.
Sorcerer, Archwizard.
There you go.
Roland's one of those sleeper characters because I visited him in the Tiefling Village, forgot about him for the longest time until I just got to Last Light In, and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot about this guy, and he's drinking himself to death because his fucking siblings got fucking abducted, and he feels like it's his fault, and I'm just like, man, I like this guy. I'm gonna go try and he's a snarky asshole to you as well, but like you still like want to like him, so like I'm excited that we get a lot more with him. So
Speaking of assholes you want to like, hey Brady, you want to talk about Volo?
Hey,
Oh,
he
God.
is the best bard character in the game. He is like a stock standard D&D character. Like there's a D&D guidebook named after this guy, and he's just a fucking moron fop that wanders into the weirdest situations and gives you rewards if you help him.
It's true. He is unhinged, I think is a great word for him.
Like, you know, the character that is just always lying and flying by the seat of their pants in any given situation, but is really good at talking? That's Volo.
That's Volo.
At one point, you tell him that you have a tadpole in your head, so he takes an ice pick and drives it into your eye in order to try to get it out.
With consent. To be fair, with consent.
With consent.
At multiple points.
you
he
do
gets
have
you
to
on-
agree.
where
to
he
it.
gives you the false information that he has done surgery before.
He does not say that. He says he's dreamt of it 1,000 times.
Oh my god, I fucking hate that character. I will say he is definitely a great character and one that belongs in the game. I despise him.
As recompense for clawing your eye out with an ice pick, he does give you a second eye that will let you see invisibility.
Which is
but you look fucking
stupid.
Times.
Hey, it's the same color as my current eye, so we're good.
My second character, I accidentally made the eyes the same color as the replacement, so it didn't even look any different.
Oh man, and the cutscene for that, the process that you have to go through to make it happen.
Oh.
I'm already not a fan of anything that has to do with eyes in general and like stuff going into eyes. It's like my one thing that kind of wigs me out, like truly.
Yeah, fuck you, Dead Space.
This is an extended sequence of a man driving a fucking ice pick through your eye. At multiple points, you have to like basically say like, "It's okay, keep going. It's okay, keep going. It's okay, keep going." Again,
there's one part where your speech is literally impeded, and you have 4 dialogue options of random fucking consonant letters that you're just like, I don't know what the fuck any of this is saying.
But you also feel exactly what it's saying. Oh man, Volo is absolutely buck fucking wild, dude.
Speaking of characters,
yeah,
who is y'all's top characters from this game? Because there are a lot.
There's a lot. I think for me, it kind of falls to the companion characters just because you spend so much time with them. Certain ones I can't talk about in too much depth, not companion, but other side characters. But I will say that Karlach is an absolute cutie patootie, and if anyone chooses the mean option and takes her out, how dare you? She is a bundle of joy, whose whole shtick is she's a tiefling who has had this infernal engine planted into her chest, making her constantly overheat, like literal on fire, too hot to touch at any point, and has been forced into Zariel, one of the commanders of the Hells, into her army just for a stupid long time. And yeah, you get to go along her quest line, trying to fix her engine, make her, finally be able to reconnect both physically and emotionally with people again. It's really sweet, and as I mentioned before, she has a lot of really cute quirks and fun voice lines and stuff, talking about the circus, and she just she's a barbarian who will idly dance, and I think that's great.
I didn't pick based on my favorite characters. I picked on ones that I was interested in and thought were cool, and I haven't gotten to the end of the game yet, so I don't know the full extent of their quest lines and how much I'll like them or anywhere. But most of what I've learned about Asterion in game is he's trying to be the cool vampire guy. He's trying to talk like he's super high intelligence all the time. Honestly, Asterian's one of my favorite characters because of the memes that I see with him talking with people, being just completely over the top about anything to do romance wise kind of thing. It's I see all these memes that are super funny about it, but I'm also very intrigued about how I think it's the parasite specifically that gives him the power to walk in the day as a vampire. So I think that's really cool. I look forward to progressing his storyline to see what more I can get out of it.
It's trauma.
It's trauma? Oh boy.
It's just trauma from here on out. Yeah, so I already kind of talked about Volo, which is one of my favorites. I also love Auntie Ethel, who is a hag that the player meets once, maybe twice if you get to Act 3. She is just the most hag to ever hag, and it's incredible. She has an Irish accent. She has over-the-top dialogue and makes deals, and you can actually get good shit if you try to bargain with her. I don't recommend it because she's a hag and very evil, and has this really fucked up layer that you get to explore through. But she's a really fun character to interact with.
She's the most like crooked nose, like wart, like hat on the head style, like fairy tale witch hag ever.
If you asked a medieval
insane.
peasant from 1400 to describe a hag witch, he would describe Auntie Ethel.
So I had found an oil that depetrifies someone like 30 minutes before I went and found Auntie Ethel, and then I went into her lair and saw the guy that was petrified. So I was like, oh, this is definitely meant for this. And I unpetrified him just to find out that he was cursed by her he was cursed with a disease that was like gonna kill him like within the next 5 minutes or something. And so you unpetrify this guy and he just dies in front of you. You're like,
oh shit.
I've done something bad.
It's like I saw in her lair there's like I think like a man or a woman who's trapped inside a mirror. And I was like, I'll just break the mirror and let him out. I don't think that's how that worked, because the mirror shattered and they were just gone.
Whew. Yeah, there's some fun stuff in that layer and some other places that you see Auntie Ethel that I'm not going to go into. But she is truly everything a hag should be, and equally as hard to kill.
So I've already done my brief talking about Will. I'm going to go into the myconoids a little bit. So for any of you that don't play D&D, myconoids are these mushroom-like people that live in the Underdark.
Myconids.
Myconids? My bad. Either way, they are these mushroom people that live in the Underdark. They are, like, anytime I was picturing the mushroom people, I didn't picture them to, like, have these neon lights glowing on them like they do in this game. Holy shit. First off, Baldur's Gate does a great job of, visually rendering some of the coolest monsters in the game, and you're like, oh, so that's what it actually should look like and stuff like that. The Myconids are one of those that I'm just like, holy shit, I am fascinated by this. I would love to play as a Myconid, which it's already got a lot of mods that are coming out and stuff. I would play an entire playthrough as a Myconid. These characters are so cool, in my opinion. They have all this glowing fungus growing around them. They speak with telepathy. It's really fucking cool. There's an entire civilization of them that you'll meet in the Underdark and interact and go do a couple quests with them for. So
I fell in love with the Myconids almost immediately, and so did Em. She was very much a fan, wanted to hang out with the Myconids just as long as we possibly could. It was awesome because they send you on a couple of quests once you get there if you prove yourself to be friendly. We had already done most of the things they requested of us, so we're just like, oh yeah, here's the thing. Which is always a feel good time. I can talk real briefly about two more of the companion characters. Lae'zel is very, very intriguing. She's one of the first of the companion characters you meet. She's also imprisoned on the same... I guess all the companion characters are actually imprisoned on the nautiloid that you're on when you start the game at the beginning. But Lae'zel is the first one that you come in contact with. She is a Githyanki fighter, full service, to her Githyanki commanders and her god queen of Vlaakith. Her questline is so interesting because it really... You see this with Shadowheart as well, but it's like a lot of questioning of this, like, authority you've been told to believe in all your life, really taking that, looking at it from a new perspective, and she proves herself to be a really tragic character, I think, in the sense that she's just she truly is an alien. She is from an entirely different plane, stranded, and at one point you can choose to basically have her become an enemy of Vlaakith, which is kind of the line that I took with her. And it brings her to question a lot of her different upbringing, what it means to be, a Githyanki, and without this undying queen to give her devotion to, because it turns out she's been lied to her whole life, and now she's just stranded on this whole world completely alien to her. and truly alone except for, the new friends and companions she's made along the way, which it's really, really intriguing. I didn't like her at first because she's very, sandpapery is a good description. Very short-tempered, very willing to stab you in an instant. But there's a lot of tenderness that was hiding, and I think she's a genuinely intriguing and fascinating character. And I'm excited to keep following up on her questline as well, because it gets to be very interesting in dealing with, why the Githyanki are even worried about this specific section of the universe.
Yeah, so my third character that I'm going to choose to talk about is Ketheric Thorm, who is the main villain of Act 2 and the most badass character in the game.
His introduction is killer, dude.
I can't wait then.
Yeah, not going to go into too much spoilers. He is...
Go ahead. I've heard a lot about him already. I know that, it wasn't... And, this could just be me false remembering. I haven't played in a week. Wasn't he dead already and he's back?
Yeah, so he is a worshiper of the god of, I forget the name, Merkel, the god of undeath, basically. So he used to worship Selûne, the goddess of the moon, and then his daughter died, and he decided that he should turn to Shar because he is so disappointed and broken with the world, and started following the goddess of darkness, and created the Shadowlands by cursing the land with shadow. Then he was killed by a combination of druids and some demonic assistants. And then he came back to life as a servant of Merkel, the god of undeath, and is raising another army. So he's been in charge of at least 3 armies in his lifetime, and all of them took some trouble to put down. And then when you meet him, you walk into Moonrise Towers, and he is talking to some goblins that you may have chased away from a goblin camp. And he asks them, basically he's like, why should I let you live? You're useless. And one of them gets panicked, grabs a spear and stabs him in the chest. And so he rips the spear out of his chest, throws it back to the goblin, and says, again, and has the goblin stab him again, because he cannot die. He just doesn't die. And his voice, is he voiced by...
He sure is. J.K. Simmons himself.
J.K. Simmons? His voice is incredible.
What?
Yo.
Okay. I think you're right. I think he's the best character in the game now.
He is the best
rad.
villain in the game, in my opinion. And then his boss fight is also incredible. There's multiple stages.
Oh man, yeah.
He hurts so much. He's a paladin, and if you think you can pull off some shenanigans being a paladin, hey, guess what? So can he. Boy, just having my tank barbarian go up and fight him and die in one round was not a fun experience for me.
Oh. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Act 2 ends in a bang. It's very good.
He's so good. He is such a great character. He's such a... and all of Act 2 is basically based around finding out more about Ketheric Thorm and what he's done in the past. So it's a very atmospheric kind of build-up to the character. And I think that was just done very well.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of, like, dark Act 2 kind of stuff, just a cool encounter I wanted to talk about really quickly before we got too far past it. The, like, doctor dude and his horrifying stabby nurses.
The House of Healing!
Holy shit!
Oh.
That was, like, a bloodborne thing. It was horrifying.
It was horrifying. You know you can convince him to kill himself?
Wait, no way. No shot, really?
Yeah. If you talk to him, you're like, hey... you can basically pass some religion check and be like, hey, Char doesn't like pussies. It's like, you're right, here. Test out your skills and cut me instead, because I'm devoted to Char. And his nurses kill him.
Jesus criminy.
What the fuck? I haven't gotten there yet. I can't wait.
Dude is
He's like a
bonkers,
robot
not so crazy.
doctor with... Like, he's an undead elf with robotic appendages
What
and
the
like
fuck?
scalpels and needles coming out of his fingers and shit.
Dude, the more I hear about like just like the weird shit about this game, the more I realize, oh, I thought I ran into the weird shit. No, hell no.
Oh, no, my friend.
You are only in Act 2, my guy. You haven't hit half the weird shit yet.
But Shadowlands is where a lot of the creepy shit is.
Yeah.
The design of the fucking Drider
Oh,
gave me nightmares. I literally had nightmares that night. I already hate spiders, but man, I fought that Drider. I turned him into a sheep turn 1 because I'm just like, I don't want to fight this. I'll beat all the other things. I'll beat all the other things, and then I'm going to go AFK while y'all one-shot him in the next round, okay? All right, goodbye.
Good luck one-shotting him. He gets like Sanctuary every turn.
He's
It's wild.
insanely buffed.
Anyway, Walker, you have another character you want to talk about?
Yeah, real briefly, because so Shadowheart is another really interesting character. I guess I just like characters who have crises of faith. She is devoted to Shar, and has been, also wakes up aboard the Nautiloid, but prior to this quest, she also had her memory pretty much wiped. Doesn't know hardly who she is, just been given the moniker of Shadowheart, and has been told, yep, you're a devout follower of Shar, you have this artifact, protect it. And we follow a really intriguing story of, she's also similar to Lae'zel, very, very blunt and kind of a dick closer to the beginning. And if you're not exceptionally careful, Shadowheart and Lae'zel will kill each other. So you have to like keep them spaced out and kind of keep their tempers restrained a bit. But I think the both of them are really, they being Shadowheart and Lae'zel, have a very interesting mirror to their characters. And again, I don't want to talk too much about Shadowheart's stuff because a lot of her stuff happens close to the end of Act 2 and into Act 3. Just a really fun storyline, really cool character development, and basically has been, for the most part, a mainstay in our party, due to the fact that she is the one and only cleric in the game, unless you choose to make your own character a cleric as well. Meaning, she's one of the few healing supplies that you have.
You can respec any character you want into being a cleric.
That's true. That's very true. But by definition, cleric.
Something I forgot to mention during customization as well. There's no limit to how many times you can multi-class in this game either.
Sure there is.
You
There's
can,
12.
there's an achievement for doing one level in each class.
I can't wait to do that playthrough. I want to do that playthrough with 4 people that like we roll to see what class we're taking every level.
Okay.
That'll be so much fun.
Hey guys, we have a quick intermission for some trivia. How y'all feeling? Y'all feel pretty confident?
I want to say, and however many we've done this for.
This is
in
your
trivia
chance.
so far. So I'm feeling real bad. Let's do it.
Trent, confidence level?
Depends on the category, sir.
Yeah, what is this trivia about?
It's just Baldur's Gate related trivia. Baldur's Gate 3 specifically.
God, okay.
Well,
So-
Hallelujah.
He's got an upper advantage then.
I mean, kind of. These are they're close to Baldur's Gate 3. It might not be direct, so
okay.
let's just jump into it here. So
How are we doing? How are we doing this?
I think both of y'all message me your answers on Discord,
Cool.
and then once I get answers from both of you, we'll lock in. We'll go over them. All right, Question 1. By this point, we are all familiar with Larian Studios. We see the fun little pop-up every time we boot up the game, since they are the team behind the creation of Baldur's Gate 3. But how familiar are you with the franchise's history? What was the studio that worked on the previous games in the mainline, quote, Ballspawn series? So these are going to be Baldur's Gate 1 and Baldur's Gate 2. What was the studio behind them?
It wasn't Larian.
Might be. So, both of you have responded. Trick question, Larian. No. Brady, you'll be excited to hear it was BioWare that originally worked on
No shit!
them. Yeah.
Wow.
Goddamn. That,
BioWare
honestly,
worked
that
on-
tracks. Early BioWare really that is very much in their wheelhouse.
Yeah. Apparently it's like kind of what shoved off a lot of their popularity as a studio and gave them a lot of like opportunity to work on new things.
And then they
There were some
squandered it.
spin-off
Wow.
games that were worked on by other developers, but BioWare are the mainline ones. All right, question number 2. So, Baldur's Gate is a massive game with gameplay that takes most players between 55 to 142 hours to complete a run and see the credits. But that is just a casual player. As of right now, what is the world record any percent speedrun time? The person who sends me the closest to the actual time is going to take the point.
You said
Any percent?
Was that?
Any percent?
Any percent.
and that's
I'm
different
using-
than Gale 911, yes?
Yes. I am using the load removed time, so this is basically time in-game, not counting actual loads.
Since I haven't finished the game, I don't know much about it. That is going all the way through Act 3, yes?
The category is just classed as seeing credits.
Seeing credits.
Yup.
Okay.
I'm taking a shot in the dark. I think there's got to be something that like you can just end it like that. I know there's also a sex percent speed run, and it was like the first world record for it was like under 7 minutes or something like that.
Okay, so now we have 2 answers in. We have Trent, who says a total of 14 minutes, and Brady has answered 5 hours.
Damn.
So the any percent category, the fastest time for beating it, 3 minutes, 31 seconds.
Jesus Christ,
and
what?
250 milliseconds. So how you do this is basically a lot of skipping through the initial scene, like getting out of the Nautiloid as fast as you possibly can. There is a dying, what are they freaking called? Mind Flayer on the crashed Nautiloid nearby. If you talk to him and choose the right options, you can fully submit to him and just get killed by him instantly, and you'll see credits.
Let's go.
Okay.
So
I thought
was
there was
thinking-
something stupid like that. I knew there was a
no,
gimmick.
fair.
So
I
Trent
was
will
thinking
take
it was
point
the
on that
Gale
one.
bomb.
The any percent, to answer your question, Trent, there's a second category for any percent, all acts. The time for that is 30 minutes, 22 seconds, and 330 milliseconds. I don't know how the fuck they did that one.
I mean, I guess skipping the druid place, going straight to the goblin camp to get to, or oh no, maybe you just go down the well to the
Honestly,
the face spider, then you to the face spider arena, you feather fall down to the Underdark, rush through the Underdark, and get to
it
the
might just be
boat.
quicker going through the mountain pass. I don't know. It's gonna be a lot of like running and jumping through though.
That's
Okay.
fucking hilarious.
Question number 3. On the topic of speedruns, there is a meme category called sex percent. Currently, the world record is 1 minute, 58 seconds, and 680 milliseconds to complete. Which of the companions joins the player character in order to complete this run?
Like how many companions, or is it just one?
It's who do you have sex with to complete
Who do you
sex
fuck?
percent?
Oh.
Yeah, who do you fuck? Trent, I think, showcased an unfair advantage on this. He already had
I didn't know about this until now, but I'm guessing.
both of you will take the point. It is, in fact, Lae'zel.
Yeah.
She's the horniest one.
Yep.
Of all your companions.
Gale second.
In the most recent patch, they actually fixed her behavior, so now it takes a lot longer to hit sex percent. So there's now a post-patch for board for sex percent. Okay. Question number 4. The community-accepted name for the player character is Tav, since it's the default name that's in the name slot. Most people assume that this is because of the code name for the game. What was the code name for the game?
Boy, I got nothing.
I threw something out.
Okay, so we have from Brady, the Asterian Venture, or from Trent, the Tavern Simulator. Both very funny, but the code name was actually Gustav, because the CEO's dog is named Gustav,
God
and they named
damn
the project
it!
around it.
I knew this was named after the fucking dog. God damn it!
And they just took the TAV from the end, made it Tav instead of Gustav.
Interesting.
All right. Now, last question here. Many of the base weapons from D&D 5e make their way into Baldur's Gate 3, but 3 weapon types have not appeared. Whoever can name the most of these weapons who have not appeared in the game can take the point on this one.
Okay.
Like, what do you mean by what?
So weapon types, it would be like your swords, your bows, your crossbows, stuff like that. Okay. 3 of the official ones in D&D have not shown up, or D&D 5e have not made an appearance in Baldur's Gate 3.
Shit, I don't know if that one's an official one for D&D 5e or not.
Yeah, I don't...
That's okay.
I'm making my guess.
Yeah, shoot your shot.
Let's see.
I don't know if I spelled one of these right.
So, real quick recap on points. Trent is currently in the lead with 2, and Brady has 1.
Are each of these their own point? Yes. We're going to do that so I have a chance to win.
I love how he's lost so much that he's like, I'm making the rules of this.
It's more exciting content.
Now, granted, I did not make a tiebreaker question. I probably should have, just in case. Let's see if I can throw one together real fast.
Yeah, like, what is the last character you fight in Act 3?
Or, what D&D version were the previous 2 games based in?
Oh, I know that one.
Okay, I do too. Jesus.
Should we start playing Jeopardy music?
Are you done?
I'm done.
Yep, I've got an answer from Brady.
Because I think... Yeah, I'm pretty sure it uses only the light version of this, not that one. So, yeah, I'll go with these. I don't know if...
You got to read out our answers before you
All right.
tell us the right ones.
So, from Trent, I'll do Trent's first. We have nets, halberds, and warhammers.
Okay.
And from Brady, I don't know what the fuck to pronounce that. Yulka? Whip?
Yikla.
Yilka? What?
Yikla.
Yikla. Yikla, whip, and net. So, y'all both have nets. Nets are not considered a weapon. They're just equipment.
Goddamn, okay.
So
I'm glad we both thought about it, though. Good shit.
Yeah.
Trent, I hate to break it to you. Halberds and warhammers are both in the game.
Warhammers are? Okay,
Yeah.
I've only seen
Yeah.
light hammers. I have not seen a warhammer yet.
Yeah, you'll be able to find one if you haven't already passed it. You'd probably be able to find one pretty soon.
And I couldn't remember halberds. Like, honestly, the biggest thing is I couldn't remember, like, a lot of the major weapons from, what the official 5e ones are, so...
So, the 3 that are missing from Baldur's Gate 3 are darts, slings,
Okay.
God damn it.
and whips.
Yes!
Takes the point to tie it up.
Woo!
Which means I have to find a fucking tiebreaker question. Give me a second.
Oh, thank God. I was trying to think because I have half a memory of like one whip in the game that I think I just made up.
I wanted to type more than 3 answers, but like I knew you had already submitted, so I'm just like I don't have the time for this. Because I'm sitting there thinking about the weapon chart I always go to whenever I'm looking at weapons for D&D, and I'm like I'm sitting there going down the list. I'm sure I would have came up with whip within like another 5 minutes.
Okay.
I do like that we both put nets though, because I like that's the first thing that popped into my head. I'm like, well, I know nets is like in the weapon category for.
Yeah, I thought it was a weapon, but
that, because like.
Oh, I guess it doesn't do damage.
I like you. I like using I like thinking about the net because it's so like unused and like people don't think about it as a weapon. Meanwhile, I was like, I'll have a net on my character just so I can throw it on some guy and get advantage of my next attack. I was hoping that Sam's Ace would do it a lot more because he had a net, and I even had like one.
He also had quick toss, right?
Yeah,
which lets you throw it as a bonus action.
Yeah, and he even had I even had on a bonus wheel there that he would eventually get a spectral net that not only like can capture can like catch things that normally like would phase through, but would also like do psychic damage.
I'm looking at like the rule changes in the game to see like what's different between 5th edition and Baldur's Gate 3. But also my internet is loading so slowly.
Have you played every class, Brady?
Well, not with my main character, but I respect the shit out of the companions. So I have had one of every class, at least partially multi-classed, on one of my squads at some point.
Okay. Ooh. I want to do a playthrough where you go 4 levels in one class, and then 4 levels in another, and then 4 levels in another, and do that for all your companions as well, to where you cover all 12.
You can just have a really good build like that.
That's true.
Just fucking Warlock, Paladin, Sork, and you're good.
Yeah, and then you could do like
Fighter, Paladin, Barb, or Fighter, Paladin.
The only issue is you don't get the extra attack.
Yeah, you don't get extra.
So Fighter would probably be good with like maybe the Rogue, so that you can get the extra bonus action and Action Surge.
I think. Honestly, I think.
And maybe Paladin.
Sorcerer, Warlock, Bard might be the strongest one, because you still get those high-level spell slots. You just don't get high-level spells.
Yeah.
Or maybe Wizard, Sork. Actually, no, Wizard would be really good because you can learn spells.
Yeah, even if you just take one level in
instead
Wizard,
of leveling up.
It's very, very powerful.
Yeah, you get 4 levels in Wizard, 4 in Sork, 4 in Warlock, and you're a pretty good caster.
Alright, the Path of the Totem Warrior Barbarian has been renamed in Baldur's Gate 3. What is its new name?
I typed that really fast and sent it. Now
You did, so you sent it very fast.
I'm pretty sure I'm right. I'm pretty confident.
I think Brady's going to finally get his win.
I picked this one because I was thinking, he might have, Brady's played a lot, but Trent might know since he's playing a Path of the Totem in a new campaign.
Yeah, all right, play the Jeopardy music.
do, 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 do.
Okay, so when I briefly put Karlak into my party to get her interaction at Last Light in, I fucking made her into this subclass, and I just can't fucking
I feel like
right
even
there.
if he gets it right, I should get bonus points because I got
he's
it so
in
quick.
so fast. You can do it. I believe in you.
I think that's it.
Okay. The correct answer is the Wildheart Barbarian. Both of you have answered Wildheart Barbarian. but since this is a tiebreaker, I'm going to be pernickety. It is one word, Wildheart Barbarian. Not 2 words, not Wild Heart. We'll let Brady have his win this time around.
So he gets it because he forgot to he forgot to hit the space bar when he actually meant to.
No, I specifically didn't hit the space bar. Also, it didn't take me 20 minutes to think of it.
That's true. That's true.
Well, sometimes you got to work off of the photographic memory that you have.
Sometimes you got to just have a better memory than that.
Alrighty, y'all.
That's okay. Brady gets to make the trivia for next time, so it'll be me and Walker.
God, I finally get to win. Just let me have this. All right, back to Baldur's Gate 3.
Let's talk about it.
We've already covered this a little bit, but let's talk about what our favorite locations were. in this game. We've already talked a little bit about the Shadowlands and like the entry beach and the city of Baldur's Gate. I know Trent has mentioned the Underdark, but are there any specific locations that you thought were really cool that you really enjoyed exploring?
The Adamantine Forge as a whole was a really, really cool, like, slightly hidden area. It had some pretty cool quest lines tied to it. I really enjoyed, just in general, delving into the Underdark, because it led to, I didn't know it existed in the first place. The first time I, like, finally found the Underdark, my mind was blown with how big the game was, and I'm still in Act 1 at that point. So, really dug the Underdark as a whole, the Myconoid colony, and specifically the Adamantine Forge was very, very cool.
So the funny thing about the Underdark is, whenever I first started D&D, I didn't think the Underdark was a place. I thought it was or a place on the material plane. I thought it was a completely different, like, realm kind of thing. So I'm like, so anytime Nathan's character was like, oh yeah, he's visited the Underdark, I'm like, okay, so he's been out of the realm or anything. It wasn't until like a couple like months later that I learned that it was actually like just this intricate like cave system that's just under the material plane that like just has all this crazy environment in it that like you get different biomes in the fucking Underdark. You get these lava pits, you get just these cold caves and everywhere, these places of sheer darkness and stuff. There are rivers that flow through it. It's like I thought it was more like a separate place to go, like in the a separate plane, like I said, not like the underworld is kind of in Greek mythology. So that was really cool whenever I found it out. And then finally going and getting to explore it and everything, I've gotten so many cool ideas now for whenever eventually my party goes to the Underdark. And like all the stuff they get to they can mess with in there and everything. Love the Adamantine Forge as well. I'll talk more about that later on whenever we get to bosses, because one of my favorite bosses so far was down there. But like you said, I one thing that wasn't mentioned about the Underdark is it Solar or Solter, the tree?
Susser.
Susser, that's it.
Susser.
Yeah. The Susser tree was a really cool area. It's this glowing tree with these bright blue flowers, and you get near any of these blooms, and your magic abilities are suppressed because these flowers emit a anti-magic field, and I'm just like, holy shit, that's so cool. So yeah, I loved going through the Underdark. Another area would have to probably be, I'm really enjoying the Shadowlands, even though I haven't fully visited everything yet. The fact that like you can just I don't know, because I immediately, as soon as I saw that we were going into the Shadowlands, I immediately was like, I might want to just pop the light cantrip and just keep it on just to be safe. I don't even know I know there are ramifications for going into the darkness without protection. I have no clue what they are, but I quickly found out it's just death. Okay, I found out about
slow
it
death.
with some of the NPCs going in. I'm like, okay, yeah, this light switch I have on is never going off. And so I've gone through there fighting shadow creatures, driders, and like, fuck, dude, the crows. Like, I had this swarm of crows just all of a sudden swarm on me, and I ended up, I was going to cast a spell on them. And whenever I did, my wild magic proc and fireballed them all. And it was like, it was such a, like, an encounter that, like, was over way too quickly, but I'm like, okay, this probably would have been very badly, even though they only have 1 health. I didn't have my AoE spell at the time, so I was like, oh, I'm going to have to just Eldritch Blast them to death kind of thing. But that was really cool. And like I said, I still have more to explore here, so I can't wait to see what all it entails.
Anytime you get into a I'm so sorry, Brady.
No, go ahead.
Just with the crow combat, anytime you get into something like that and you have, like, Shadowheart with Spirit Guardians is so satisfying. Because you can just proc it and have her fucking sonic spin dash, like, run through all of them and they just explode into clouds of smoke and feathers. It's so good.
My favorite is Wall of Fire. If you just set up a wall of fire in the right place, they will not try to run around it. They will try to run through it.
The AI is
and will
so
kill
goofy
themselves.
sometimes.
Even on even on the tactical play.
Even on tactical.
Jesus Christ.
It's great because if you get into a spot with a choke point, you can just get an easy 60-80 damage to all the enemies. Like, with one cast of Wall of Fire. It's great.
So I haven't gotten to cast Wall of Fire yet, actually. How does it cast? Are you able to, like, click and drag to see where
You're able to drag a line across the ground.
And can you make it a circle around you?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
it's just a
line.
line.
But there's a lot of... the game does a very good job at making very interesting and dynamic battle maps. So there's a lot of really like fun choke points and stuff you can set up or funnel people through with something like an AoE spell, like, or not AoE, but like a control spell like Wall of Fire.
Yeah.
And if you don't like where you're fighting, you can do what my friend Smurf does, and you just trail them and keep running out of their range over and over again until they follow you to a place that you do like the terrain, and you're like, okay, I'll fight them here.
Exactly.
Getting back to favorite locations. My favorite location is in Act 3. Walker, you might have seen this one. Trent, you definitely haven't. There is an underwater base that you get to fight through.
God.
Which
the whole
also is
setup
one of my favorite encounters of the game.
is such a cool... I want to talk about it more, but it's so cool because it's not... It's a combat encounter, but it's got like a really cool alternate objective.
Right, you're racing
so
against time in this underwater base that is slowly filling up with water, and you're trying to rescue some people by running around this base, unlocking their doors, and letting them try to run back to the entrance before a set amount of turns, all the while enemies are spawning and coming up out of the water trying to kill you. It is such a fun map and encounter, and my favorite spot in the whole game.
The lead up to that, like how you get under the water too. Is
That
so
whole that's a
fucking
great
fun.
quest line.
There's
so good.
surprisingly a large, like it's a city, right? I get it. Baldur's Gate's gonna be big. There's so much there. It just kind of keeps going.
And it's not like empty. Like a lot of cities will have like fake buildings that you can't really go into, or like spaces where nothing really happens.
Yeah.
Almost everything in Baldur's Gate, the city, has something to do. Like I've played through this game 3 times. Every time I find something new in Baldur's Gate, just because of how much shit there is in that city. Also, boy, my computer does not like it when I'm in Baldur's Gate.
Mine either.
And your computer's brand new, isn't it, Brady?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, no.
I'm also playing on pretty good graphics, so maybe if I turn them down, it'd be easier.
I'm
But
probably
they
going to have
don't
to
look
turn
so
them
pretty.
up. So, like, I think the crazy thing about this is, like, this game is so huge, and Baldur's Gate is the only city you go into, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
only city.
yeah.
You go into a little town outside of Baldur's Gate, but it's more like a suburb.
Yeah. It's insane. They do such a good job. And it's like you said, Brady, it all feels populated. It all feels important.
And it's so much to scale. Like, that's one of my favorite things about it. Is usually video game cities are kind of like you go to Whiterun. Whiterun in Skyrim, and it's this great city, but it's like maybe 20 houses total.
Yeah.
And it's great for that game, like, but it's scaled down a little bit. This one feels like you plot this city down into the real world, and it would make sense for that time period if you took out all the dragon people. Like, because you only see a small corner of the city in that whole map, right? You're not looking at the whole of Baldur's Gate.
Mm-mm.
You're like at a quarter of it max.
Oh, so it's not even the full city.
No.
Oh.
Nope.
You get like one district of the city.
Oh, my God.
So honorable mention Baldur's Gate is my favorite location.
Oh, yeah. But that feels like cheating, though.
That feels like cheating. Third honorable mention, the Sorcerer Tower that you get to visit.
Oh, my God. Fuck.
Has some really cool shit in it.
Fuck
It
that
does have some
place.
very cool shit in it. Which Sorcerer
What
Tower?
are you
the
talking
one in
about,
Baldur's
Trent?
Gate or the one in the Underdark?
The one in the Underdark.
I'm talking about the one in Baldur's Gate.
Oh,
The one in the
okay.
Underdark is very cool as well. That's the place that actually has the Susser tree that Trent was mentioning earlier.
Fighting the Warforged in there was pretty great. The frickin' arcane turrets, They were
If you
rough.
don't have lightning damage, they're rough.
Yeah. My lightning damage was Witch Bolt, and I could not get close enough to cast Witch Bolt. And no one else in the party had lightning damage, so I guess it's up to me.
I know, run through.
I know I had the Misty Step amulet, and there was one instance where I had to I finally got within where I could probably do it in range right before my paladin was about to die, and I had to fucking full movement, Misty Step, get shoved by my paladin who was working on the same turn to finally get in range to where I could freaking shock the freaking arcane turret. It was funny.
Yeah. I think I didn't have any lightning damage, but I had a warlock, and if I rolled max damage on an Eldritch Blast, I could get over the threshold to do damage to the turret. So I did the slow time thing, the turn time, and I hid behind a rock, popped out, shot Eldritch Blast, nothing. Go back behind the rock, in turn, wait, pop out, shoot Eldritch Blast.
Oh shit!
Go back behind a rock, wait,
rinse and repeat
rinse and repeat until you took out those turrets.
Oh.
Garbage. I loved it.
Hey, my fiance's playing as a storm domain cleric. We got through that very quickly.
Didn't even think about it, huh?
No, she witch bolted it and it was done.
Call Lightning would be a very good spell there too.
What's that one? Sorry.
Call Lightning.
Yes.
Oh yeah. One other location I want to mention is the mountain pass, specifically the Temple of Lathander, that the Githyanki take as a temporary stronghold for them. I figured out a way to genocide the entire Githyanki there, as well as myself, but, it was rather fun going and taking a mace and then having the entire place get exploded by a fucking laser trap that was planted there if someone tried to take the mace.
Look, there's a book that says very specifically, we have preparations in place if anyone attempts who is non-holy. It's like, all right.
Yeah, I read that. And I still tried to take it.
I found a different way to genocide all the Githyanki in there.
You fight them?
One at a time.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I felt really bad. I intentionally turned on, because, I don't know. Something about it felt wrong.
I did feel bad about it, but also, boy howdy, the Githyanki do some fucked up shit.
So,
they didn't just find an abandoned monastery, right?
No, that's fair. But you know who did and who didn't deserve the unholy treatment we gave them? The poor fucking kobolds who also were hanging out there, just getting drunk and having a good time. And we just
they attacked
nuked them. They were just little guys. They were just hanging out.
They attacked me, man.
No.
If you attack me, no mercy. Also, as soon as I found out that the Githyanki were responsible for the crashing of the ship and everything that happened, I was kind of role playing the character. My character's like, okay, fuck the Githyanki. I've almost killed Blazel with that character so many times. And I'll do other playthroughs doing other things. Another thing that my friends laugh at, and they think that I'm just a crazy psychopath kind of thing, but no. Back in the original campaign that I made, that Dragonborn Warlock, his family were killed by goblins. So whenever I went into this game, I'm like, it's the same character. My family was killed by goblins. I am nuking every freaking goblin I see, no matter what. There have been actual NPC goblins that have tried to talk to me. I have killed literally every goblin in that game. My friends think I'm a psychopath, and I'm just like, what? And no, this is just my backstory for this.
You're not a psychopath. You're just a racist.
For 2 goblins specifically, yes. Yeah. And I will admit that, but it's because goblins killed my family.
Yeah, one group of people is representative of the entire race. Absolutely.
Indeed.
Kids don't
take that out of context.
That's bad. That's a racism.
Don't take that clip out of context either, please.
Those kobolds.
Yeah.
Fun fact: everything in that room has alcohol in it.
Yeah, I know.
Another fun fact: there is a set of gloves you can give to monks that have them do fire damage with their unarmed attacks.
Oh yeah.
Third fun fact: if you punch the kobolds with fire damage gloves on, you will blow up the entire room.
Oh.
And then you'll quickly reload the save, yes?
I live with my mistakes.
Oh, you lived. through the explosion.
Oh no, the character did not, but
okay.
my cleric did. So.
Oh, okay. Got it.
The cleric hadn't gone into the room yet.
Good.
Speaking of fun fights, we all know that the most fun fights are the boss fights, and this game has a lot of really good ones.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I think I don't want to speak for everybody, but I feel like the Forge Guardian is probably
holy shit, yes,
the best fight in the game. Is that something we all agree on?
So far, it's been my favorite.
It's pretty dang good.
It's
like
the hardest,
yes,
for sure.
Actually, it wasn't very hard for us because I figured out real quick. Hey, you lead them into the smashy hammer thing of the device, and you can two-shot them.
Yeah, there are books you can find that tell you to do that. I didn't realize that until my second playthrough.
I saw I had pulled the lever and the thing smashed before I'd lowered the platform, and I'm like, okay, so that's probably supposed to do something for the Forge. And then we hit the elevator and went down to the lower level, and the Forge Guardian came out, and I'm like, oh, I know exactly what to do. And I because of his I examined him. He has some sort of feature on him that makes him go after the last person that attacked him. Mm-hmm. So essentially, I just parked Shadowheart by me at the lever for the device. I hit him with 2 Eldritch Blasts, had him run to me, stand on the center of the thing, and then Shadowheart pulls the lever and he just smash, and he's dead. It was fucking great.
Yeah, I had to do that fight the hard way, which involved a lot of hasted Karlax.
How did you manage?
Many deaths.
How do you even?
I
deal
also
damage
didn't have a
to
blunt
it
weapon.
Otherwise,
if you lure it into the lava, it will stop being immune to everything for a second.
Well, we had wait. So if you hit it with the hammer, I was under the assumption that you had to have it in that burning state when you hit it with the hammer.
You have to have it in the burning state to do any damage to it.
Oh, okay, cool.
But you can do damage without a hammer. It's just everything but bludgeoning is resisted.
Oh man, that just seems like a slug because he has a ton of. But
bludgeoning, he is vulnerable.
Bludgeoning, he is vulnerable.
It was a slugfest. I had again my Sorlock doing Eldritch Blasts, a hasted Karlach, Asterion doing sneaky rogue shit, and Shadowheart reviving everybody when they died. And it took a very long time.
So our paladin was using a warhammer for that fight. I think it probably would have taken 3 shots to maybe kill him with the device itself. But our paladin actually just went and just slammed him for 50 damage on his first strike, and I'm like, oh, okay, this boss fight's not going to be as hard as I thought it was going to be.
Yep, if you have the right things, certain fights get a lot easier. Speaking of difficult fights, have you gotten to the mausoleum yet, Trent?
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
Just tell me about
it. Man.
There is a fight where you go into this mausoleum and you go underground. And this fight is not part of the main quest line of it. It's like a side quest.
Okay.
I do think you still have to complete it. But there is a devil that was summoned to kill Ketheric Thorm when he was a Shar worshipper before he came back to life. And has been cursed to be trapped in this tomb forever. And it is a big-ass devil and 15 little devils, Maragons, not imps, but full devil warriors.
Oh, God.
And they are... You walk into this room, and there is a second floor with a hole in the ceiling, and they are all lined up with crossbows around the hole in the ceiling, pointed down to where you're at.
Yeah, your ass gets jumped very quickly. Then the fucking punk turns invisible. It's such a pain in the ass.
And for some reason, there is also a Displacer Beast there.
Just
what?
there.
Oh, God.
Just for funsies.
I wanted to make friends with him, but it wouldn't let me.
Attack the devils?
Nope, it only attacks you.
Oh, okay, so it's his pet. Got it.
It's his pet, yeah.
Oh,
holy
man.
fuck.
It's such a fun fight. And you also... you can see that devil again.
Oh, interesting.
a maximum of 2 more times, depending on how you play certain things. Because when you House of Hope, you go to the Hells, and you can see him there. Like as part of the House of Hope quest, you go like actually physically visit the Hells, and that's where he goes after you kill him, and you can meet him there. And then if you play your cards right, you can get him as a summon for one of the final fights.
Oh.
Like you can just call on him.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll need to dig more into that.
Yeah. So that small spoiler for the final fight of the game. Depending on how you play your cards, like with different groups and allies you can talk to, they do help you in some ways for the final several fights.
Yes.
Like your gear comes as a summon. A couple of people just give you buffs. A couple people give you like spells you can cast at full heal your party once. You get a lot of busted shit if you help and talk to the right people.
So,
and your gear will just show up as a devil that turns invisible and shoots people.
So at least tell me this: is the final fight a single entity, or is it like
God, no.
Okay.
It's a slog through a bunch of enemies, and then you fight several more enemies at the final fight.
Okay.
It's a fucking gauntlet, is what it is.
So is it? I guess what I'm trying to say is like, is there more a central figurehead of the fight with just cronies, or is it more of like a war essentially?
Oh, more like a war. Because more like a war.
Oh, that sounds fun! I can't wait for that now.
Yeah, no, there isn't. I mean, there is a central figurehead, but that's not really the point.
Yeah, from my understanding as well. Like, you'll find out more.
Yeah, I can't really say anything because you haven't. There's some spoilers before the spoilers that you haven't been spoiled yet. So.
Yeah, don't worry. This game will. I'll be sure to get it.
I will say
before the end of the year. So.
There is a dragon involved.
Oh shit! I was actually shocked that I hadn't seen.
That's just like dragons. A side enemy that you fight as part of that final battle.
Jeez.
Oh shit.
Hey, and being level 12 doesn't make it any easier to fight a dragon. That shit is hard.
Well, yeah, it shouldn't. I mean, dragons are normally like higher level creatures than just level 12.
Yeah, but you can be one at level 12.
Which is why I'm having my level 5 party. No, level 4 actually. Level 4 party fight one next session.
Really? Is that something you'd be interested in doing? Deluge?
No. I'm talking about the other party, the people that don't know anything about D&D.
Lovely. Other fights. There is a really cool fight in the House of Hope that I mentioned that's, I think, the hardest fight in the game. But I can't talk about it at all or I will spoil things. But it's really fun and really difficult. Other boss fights. Y'all have all beaten the hag in the swamp, right?
Yeah.
Auntie Ethel, yeah.
Yeah, Auntie Ethel. That fight where she like turns invisible and creates copies of herself that all cast spells until you defeat them.
Oh, that was
and
fun.
Grabbing like her captive and like
and threatening.
Man, insane.
It was such a fun fight.
So, actually, a cool thing about that fight is, first off, whenever she made copies of herself, it really helps to have a warlock that already has 2 blasts of Eldritch Blast. Because then you just get rid of the copies very quickly, especially whenever your Shadow Heart hits the right one, turn 1.
I'll tell you what else is useful. A Shadow Heart with Spirit Guardians that just runs by 3 of them. And even if they make the save, they still take damage, which gets them to disappear.
Oh, yeah. That would work, too. But another trick to that fight is whenever you're not sure which one's her, which one's the captive, the captive, I thought of this in the moment. I'm like, a hag's not a humanoid, technically. I'm a cast hold person on the captive, and whichever one it works on is the captive, the other one is the hag. And sure enough, I was able to tell exactly which one was which, and we were able to fucking smoke her then, right afterwards. Our paladin was like right next to, or like within running distance to either of them, and so I'm like, I'm gonna hold person them, and then we found out which one was the right one, and he ran over and just fucking beat her ass. It was great.
Yeah, that is one of the reasons why I like that hag so much, is because of the tricksiness of that boss fight. Feels very mind games hag shit.
Yes,
Love that.
100%. All right. Is there anything else major that y'all would like to touch on real quick?
Nothing that isn't spoilers.
Yeah, I know. I feel like even where I'm at right now, which for all intents and purposes, from my understanding, is 2 boss fights from the end of the game. I understand that realistically it's
Are you
not,
still
but,
doing House of Hope and the final? Are those the 2 things you haven't finished?
And then one of the main enemy quest lines in the lower city.
Gotcha.
The lower city.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, it's so big.
The lower city is the part of Baldur's Gate you get to explore.
Yeah.
The upper city you only go to in the final fight series.
Oh, okay, interesting. One thing I know that's listed here that we haven't talked about it at all. I think we should at least mention. So what's going on with Raphael? The subplot there.
Well, we have mentioned that a little bit.
Yeah, Raphael is a fun little devil friend who offers you multiple points to help handle problems for just the small petty price of your soul. But that's whatever.
He's just a friendly guy.
He's a friendly guy. He's there to help.
He also tries to make a deal. There is a tiefling child that's running a gang of pickpockets in
I love
the
Mole.
mall in the Druid Grove. At some point in the story, the devil tries to make a contract with her as well.
Mm-hmm.
Really fun stuff.
I don't know if I thwarted that or anything, but I definitely thwarted his chess game with her.
Yeah, you didn't thwart shit. Wait, did you make him win or lose?
I made him lose.
Yep, you definitely didn't thwart shit. But Raphael is a great character.
Dude.
What's better than a devil you don't know? The devil you do.
Oh, man,
yeah.
charismatic as fuck.
He is.
Really, I really appreciate his character being in the game. It was not something I expected at all. I don't know why I didn't expect, devils in, a D&D game, but still, it was a very pleasant surprise.
Oligax absolutely despises him and hates him. Trent fucking loves him, and honestly, I wish I could talk in the same manner that he does.
Honestly,
as he does. It's so good.
Speaking as someone that is currently DMing a D&D campaign, I kind of just don't want to do devil deals now because I have this standard that I know I will never live up to.
You cannot.
So, wow, I cannot do that. So I will
game.
just no devils.
or you just go and you just Google the Baldur's Gate 3 dialogue and just repeat it verbatim to him.
Well, alrighty, y'all. Do y'all want to talk real quickly about how you feel about the game, rankings, final thoughts?
10 out of 10.
It's so good. So, I spoke at length before about how much I really, really was in love with Tears of the Kingdom earlier this year. My fiance Emma feels very, very similarly. We completed Act 1 of the game, looked at each other and went, fuck. If any other year Tears of the Kingdom had come out, it would have likely been my game of the year. Dear God, this game is insanely well done, just in every degree. There's been, a handful of, bugs and crashes, but it seems like Larian as a studio has been so on top of making sure the experience is pleasant for everyone. Oh man, it's good. 10 out of 10 on my end as well.
It's not perfect. Obviously, with a game this big, there are bugs and issues, but it is so obviously a labor of love by Larian, and it is so detailed and just handcrafted in a way that I don't care that it's a little sluggish in Baldur's Gate. I don't care that there was occasionally a glitch or two, which again, I'm saying glitches. There are very, very few actual bugs with the game. The game runs really well. But it's so good that I have to do 10 out of 10. I can't do anything less.
Yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying it as well. I'm not even fully through the way through it, so I'm like, I can't rate it a 10 out of 10 until I see the end of it, so I'm just not going to rate it, because I feel like if I were to rate it anything lower, and it does end up being the star that these two think it is so far, it would be do it a disservice. So I'm going to wait until I get the full playthrough done, and you'll hear about it in our Game of the Year discussion whenever that comes around, most definitely. I mean, obviously, because these two are going to bring it, and like, there's no way it's not in my top 5 already, even with just the first act being first act and a half of the second one being what I've completed so far, and that's only one playthrough where I plan on doing multiple. So, yeah, like I said, this game is going to be talked about for years to come, especially the fact that we're all invested in D&D as much as we are, and video games in general, and we'll keep calling back to this game over and over again whenever we discuss like other things that have any sort of relation to it, like whenever it starts we start talking about like games with devils, games with D&D inspired stuff, games with magic. Like, we'll keep coming back to talking about how great this game is. So,
do we have any idea for what game's up next?
So actually, yes. So it's not a game that's up next, and I briefly talked about it, mentioned it to you, Walker, but the next episode is going to be sort of a last chance qualifier for our Game of the Year. Go back and play any game that came out this year that you want, and we'll each spend 30, maybe 45 minutes talking about whichever one we end up going to play. Go find something that you think is going to hit your top 10 list, essentially, and as long as it came out this year is fine. And we'll each come with something different. Maybe we'll come with the same thing. Who knows? It just depends. There were a lot of good games that come out. I wouldn't fully expect Brady not to come with just Spider-Man 2 next time. I wouldn't expect Walker not to come with the newest Mario that came out next time, or it could be something completely different. I might end up bringing Remnant 2. I might not, and go find something else. I have no clue, but it's sort of a we got to make sure we play this game in this time to see if it makes our top 10 kind of thing. So bring whatever the fuck you want.
Alrighty, guys. That's a
unless Silk Song comes out. If Silk Song comes out, we're doing Silk Song. Just kidding. I'll do Silk Song. But anyway, unless y'all have anything else to say, I think I'll go ahead and close it off.
I think that's it for me.
Yeah, all good here.
All right, cool. Thank you guys for tuning into the podcast again. We'll catch you on the next wavelength. Y'all have a fantastic evening. This is Joystick Frequency signing off. I'm Trent.
I'm Walker.
And I'm Brady.
We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.
See ya.